This is basically an exploration of frequencies and how they all interrelate and intermingle. AM radio starts at 30,000 hertz, 30,000 cycles per second, and it moves up through shortwave, television and FM radio, microwaves and radar, telemetry, infrared radiation, visible light, ultraviolet, and X-ray radiation, until it explodes at 10 to the power of 20 at gamma radiation. Now below 30,000 hertz, I was always quite curious. Human hearing runs from 20 hertz, or 20 cycles per second, all the way up to 20,000 hertz. And then there's a 10,000 hertz gap between where broadcasting is allowed to operate and what is thought to be the average top end of human hearing. Down here, less than 20 hertz, we've got consciousness, and consciousness runs according to EEG readings from half a hertz, 0.5 hertz, all the way up until 40 hertz. Some say as high as 60. But those move through, or from the delta state, theta state, the alpha state, and then beta state, and beta state is supposed to go up to 40 hertz. Now, human hearing runs down as low as 20, so there is some interesting crossover there. Another one is household power, is right in here somewhere as well at 60 hertz. Using Pythagorean octave doubling, we can move through these frequencies in a sort of logarithmic fashion, taking one number and then doubling it to start the musical octave again. Just using a piano as our baseboard and as our scale, we doubled our way through all of these frequencies to show a musical relationship. So we've now moved this entire frequency range from 10 to the power of 20, which is gamma radiation in the center of the sun, all the way down to and including half a hertz, which is quite a wide range. And for us, the next step was then to decide what could possibly be in that last half a hertz. We realized then that with the octave doubling, any number we divided in two was never going to hit that imaginary 0 point. And that's when suddenly the half a hertz left over from our exploration turned out to be as infinite as gamma radiation. So between one gray area at the top and another gray area at the bottom, in order to show a relationship amongst the frequencies, we had to come up with a reference tone. And then in our research, we came across something that the Schumann resonances, and that the Earth itself is emitting 7 pulses, but the fundamental root tone of the Earth is 7.83 hertz. And that is a wavelength equal to the diameter of the Earth, and that also sits right in the middle of our own alpha states. Spatially, on this installation, this line is exactly sitting on the 7.83. Every 6 inches, we go up a doubling. So we've got from 7.83 to 15.66 to 31.32 to 62.64, etc., etc. So this is our reference point and our starting point for all things that follow that way and all things that follow this way. Now here is one of the bigger spectrums. You can actually double this 7.83 10 times as you move through here. It just never stops, never stops, never stops. And then eventually you leave infrared radiation, suddenly you find yourself right in the middle of green. So there's no mistaking it. Down in sound, it was a C note. Up here, it's now a green note. And then we double once more, and we're outside of visible light. So visible light is only 1 octave. Any number doubled up and down this frequency range is only ever going to land on 1 color. Even though there are 390 trillion options in this 1 octave, each frequency down there is always represented as only 1 frequency in visible light. So a particular shade of 1 of the 7 colors. Same thing down in human hearing, where you're looking at a particular shade of 7 notes.